Hi everybody, my name is Vickie and my partner is Bernie, and we have been cruising for many years now. I started actually in around 1990, and together we have done over 50 cruises now. Actually, it's kind of hard to believe. And I started a blog quite a few years ago, and I got lots of great feedback from that. So I started up a Facebook page called Cruising Princess Cruise Lines with Vickie about 3 years ago, and there we share information about ports and ships and just questions in general about cruising or traveling. And it's a nice, safe, respectful place where people can go and just talk about traveling. So I've been asked about doing a podcast for many years, and I have always enjoyed other people's podcasts, so I thought, well, maybe this is something I could try to do as well. So bear with me. I'm going to attempt to do this. I don't know how often I will be doing podcasts, but obviously when I'm traveling I will have more information that I want to convey. I'm happy to take requests for ideas for podcast. I'm looking forward to doing some interviews from friends and family that have cruised recently, information about ports. And also, when I get on board, I'm going to really work hard at doing some interviews, not only with the passengers that I meet, but many of the crew and the officers that we are now consider our Princess family or our extended family. So I'm glad that you found me, and I'm not sure how this will turn out, but again, this is not something I've ever done, and I am, although quite techie, I do need to learn this new venue of sharing information. So today we're going to talk about Bernie and my upcoming cruise that we have planned on the Crown Princess, which is a 7-day California coastal. So sit back, listen, and I hope if you have any questions or comments, you'll visit me on my Facebook page and post them there. Thanks. So I'm sitting here with Bernie, and we're going to talk about our upcoming cruise on the Crown Princess, California coastal, 7 days. So Bernie, why did you want to do this cruise?
Well, our last cruise was in April that we got off the ship. It's the Crown Princess. It just so happens that it's the Crown Princess that we're going to go back onto in September as a California coastal. So there's many reasons why we picked it. To start with, because we haven't had a real vacation since April, it's nice to get away for a week and be pampered. We also have the advantage of, because it is the Crown, we spent 49 days on the ship, and we got to know quite a few of the staff and officers, and they're like family.
So who are you looking forward to seeing the most?
Of course, my wife, but I mean, she's...
Good answer.
There's probably a list. Of course, our good buddy, the hotel general manager, Claudio, he's... Francesco will be there. Liz. Trying to think of who else is on there that we know. Many of them we've seen throughout the summer as they've gone home, and unfortunately won't be on the ship when we get there. But there's others like Beatrice and Laura and Mark and Lorelei and of course, no matter how many people we know, we're always excited to get on there and then realize that we know even more people. So, the staff and crew, but also other passengers, and that's it's like the surprise in the Cracker Jack box. You don't know what you're going to get until you get there. So, you just go with a good frame of mind, and of course, we might have a glass of wine.
Might.
Yeah.
So we're visiting mainly California ports. We've been to all of these places. We're going to be visiting San Francisco, Santa Barbara, San Diego, and Ensenada. So what are some of the things you are looking forward to doing in the ports, like San Francisco?
Oh, that's my favorite city on the West Coast. I know that we're going to do some kind of walking around, hop on the cable cars and tour around a little bit and grab a meal somewhere. And I think Claudio will have to firm up the for sure. But I know that he did mention that he wouldn't mind traveling with us that day.
Yeah.
And so... Okay,
so what are you looking forward to doing in San Diego?
San Diego is always, it's one of those squirrely cities. I don't think we'll do the Mission District again because we've done that so many times. And we've walked around.
You mean the Old Town?
Yeah, the Mission.
Is that the Mission?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting it confused.
Yeah, where the Mission is. It's great. Like, for anybody who's never been, it's really... It's a great place to go, and you kind of it's a capsule of time that when the Spanish first started discovering the west coast of North America and Mexico up. So this is one of the missions that they set up. So I always enjoy it. Mm-hmm. It's a fun place to visit.
It's really easy to get to too as well.
Yeah. And especially from the port, because all it is you walk across the tracks, across the street, and you hop on the tram going straight there. It costs you, I think it was $2.
It was very little. Yeah, it was very easy to get to. Yeah, so we're gonna walk into town, I guess, that day.
Yes, remember the burger place we found the last time we were there?
Yeah, okay.
That was great. I don't know if we'll find it again, but I can't remember the name.
That was a nice area, yes.
It was away from the Mission. It was an area that we had not walked around prior.
Yeah, I'd like to go back down towards the waterfront shops and stuff that we had been to many years ago when we first were there, just to sort of check it out a little bit more. Yeah. So Santa Barbara, now we visited that when we were driving once to Southern California, but we haven't been there via a cruise ship. So that's a tender port. Not sure what we're going to do there.
Well, we really didn't spend a lot of time there when we were driving through, because we stopped, and I think we spent maybe 2-3 hours because we walked around a little bit and then grabbed a bite to eat and then got in the car instead of traveled further north. So I don't know. On that one we could check out and see what the ship is pushing for excursion and see what's available, and or check the maybe some of your fans have an idea what to do.
Yeah, I got some good restaurant recommendations for Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And of course, then there's Ensenada, and we have only been there once when we did a Hawaii cruise.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe we can find that flower show.
That's true.
Yeah. You'll have to check my blog and click on the label for Ensenada to see what I'm referring to with regards to the flower show. I'll leave that for you to do some research. But Ensenada, we're actually there for quite a while, so I'm hoping we can maybe kind of do something.
Of course, a nice Mexican meal would be good.
Mm-hmm.
With a cerveza.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
Yeah. I think we could find one in there. Like, remember Rick Bayless he really pushed the fish tacos for Ensenada.
Yes, I have some names of places that he'd recommended.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're not 5-star dining room, but I mean, it's still, the food is always very good, and we've always had a lot of luck if we follow the locals and go to eat where they eat.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'd like to do something there other than just sort of wandering around, but we'll have to look more into that. And of course, we have 2 sea days. Well, those are always nice and relaxing.
Yes.
Yeah. There's 2 formal nights. I don't know if we're doing formal or night. We haven't totally firmed that up, so we'll discuss more on that. But I think we're both going to at least dine at one of the specialty restaurants, if not both, on the 7 days, I would think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. That's one thing about, again, when we get on the ship and we find out who's on there, then our plans, no sense of making any concrete plans because you may not be able to uphold them because it's easier to be fluid and go with the flow.
Yeah, this trip is kind of unique that way, where we really don't have anything planned at all, other than maybe meeting up with Paula and Min in San Francisco. And other than that, that's about the only thing that's for sure. But this is more just go and relax and, get that week off from work and regroup.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a long time till the next cruise after that, so...
I think he's, see, if you don't know Bernie, he likes to pull your leg. So, yeah, we do come back and we're only home for about 4 weeks before we get to go on our next adventure, and you'll have to stay tuned for that one. Now, I'll be blogging the whole 7 days that we're gone. We're flying out of Seattle to Long Beach, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a nice airport to come into, and then we'll take a taxi from the airport to the San Pedro port. And normally I don't always recommend flying in the same day of the cruise, but this is a pretty short flight. It's in September, so we shouldn't have any kind of issues. And it's not too expensive, I don't think, a taxi from San Pedro, but it was just so much more convenient to fly in and out of there than flying out of LAX.
It's a smaller airport, so flying in the day of is a lot easier.
Yes. Yes.
Do.
Yeah. And, we're not in any huge rush to get on the ship, but I think our flight arrives relatively early, so we will probably be at the pier before they even start embarkation. But maybe dropping off our bags and doing some wandering around a bit would be something we might do, but we're not in a huge rush to get on the ship. Anything else you want to comment about the trip to California?
Well, the fact that... if anybody's not spent any time around the town of San Pedro, they may want to wander up the couple of busy streets. There's a lot of great shops there that we've discovered, and the people are very friendly, very helpful.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. A lot of people would give San Pedro a bad rap, but we both really, really liked it. We thought it was quite quaint, a lot of history there. And if you walk up and down the street there, is that 6th or 7th? 6th? Yeah, they got a whole bunch of historical banners and pictures and stuff, so it's quite interesting. So that's a good tip. Yeah.
And on Saturdays, they usually run a farmer's market. Or they did last year.
Yeah.
That was and they had a bunch of different eateries set up on the side of Mexican and whatnot. So
yeah, I can't remember what day that was. Yeah, that was a good
Saturday.
It was a Saturday. Yeah, so that might be a good idea. And we'll be staying in San Pedro for a night in November between some cruises, so we can talk more about our experience then. Well, so follow along on my blog while I'm away, and thanks for listening. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to Vickie and Bernie Cruise, the brand new podcast. If you want more information about anything that we've talked about here, come out and visit my Facebook page, Cruising Princess Cruise Lines with Vickie, and also check out my blog, vickieandbernietravel.blogspot.ca. Now, please remember that all the information here is just information that we've gathered. We are in no way affiliated with any cruise line or travel agent. We're just avid cruisers that want to talk about travel and share information. So there's no guarantee that the information put out on this podcast is 100% accurate, but we try to do our best.